Yeah, yeah. I don't know why. It just right on time. It said, "Oh, I gotta end this." Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah.
I never seen it do that. They went right into convert the meeting recording. Wow.
Oh,
Normally it just drops and it comes right back again. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Very interesting. Okay.
yeah. Tell me she wasn't perfectly ready for this feeling and believing. It was
Oh,
it jumped off of her whole body when she was on the table here on
yes,
Saturday. I'm like,
yes,
I'm gonna
yes,
bring this up, you know. There's an
yes,
opportunity.
yes.
But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Remember we
yeah.
talked
That's
about her
amazing.
as being that I said she's a narcissist. After I did PSP, I'm like, oh my God. And then, we had talked about it for a little bit, her and I.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. I remember. That's why I was. When you brought it up, I remembered that. Okay, I'm gonna reserve my judgment. Yeah, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
cautious.
And
I
look at
still
what
am.
she said. I
Yeah,
was a narcissist,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Yeah,
admitting
that's
it.
huge. That's huge. That's huge. That's
Huge.
huge. That's huge. There's
Wow.
so much that came today. It's just too
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's
But
really,
yeah, she's a sharp cookie.
yeah, she is. She's
Very
really
sharp. Very
on
sharp.
many levels, on many levels,
Yeah,
from this
yeah, yeah. Oh,
introspection part, from a business standpoint, she
yeah.
just excels,
I'm gonna keep listening for the voice change.
her voice change.
Mm, mm.
Hmm.
Be interesting to see if it changes.
Hmm.
The voice doesn't represent the sobriety,
Yeah,
hormones, or competitiveness.
yeah, it's too childlike
Oh
almost. It's
yeah,
very
oh yeah,
soft,
oh yeah.
childlike. Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Be interesting to see the change.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Beena?
This is interesting because I didn't remember that what Sue said before because uh, my I didn't remember her name. I do remember, but not in the context that she is like that. Now I remember that. But when she was sharing her perspective, uh, it was showing that she has a good memory, and and when she was listening to, she was recalling some other stuff. So yes, she has, of course, a lot of moreness. Also, it's what you call it, sir, when people have a lot of uh, technical terms and understanding about. This is common with all the generation. Like right now, uh, I don't know. You
Lingo
use a term,
or jargon?
jargon. Yes, yes,
Jargon.
and she is very sharp in that she not only just memorize the terms and jargons, but she also have this concepts,
Mm,
and this having too much of awareness of all these concepts and ideas, the counterproductiveness, you can say, that it comes in many cases, that they develop a defense mechanism towards that, because I understand, so it doesn't apply to
mm,
me
mm,
completely.
mm,
It happens with me also. Sometimes it happens.
mm,
So when you become aware of these things, and especially in the when people who are into these type of conversation all the time,
Mm-hmm.
mm,
defense mechanism, your subconscious create that. Oh, I know that, and this is what I'm saying, and when I'm saying it is
mm.
enough, because I'm saying it means that I understand that,
Yeah,
and because I
yeah.
understand, it doesn't
That
apply to
means
me.
that does apply, right? Right.
So
Yeah, very insightful, Beena. Very insightful.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think her
yeah.
jargon for her age, I think she's
It's pretty normal.
28 or something like that. She's young. She is
Yeah,
very young.
yeah. So
Um,
in the early 20s,
late 20s. I think
late
she's
20s.
late 20s. Yeah.
That's
She's
the voice that
forced to,
throws it off. You
forced
think
to
she's a
grow
bit
up.
young.
What's
oh, I
that?
Yeah.
that
Her
she
voice.
is 17 or 18, something like that,
Yeah. Yeah. In her voice.
because of the way she
And her face too. I mean, she
yeah,
looks young.
Yeah. Yeah. Even in her
yeah.
dress. And I
Yeah.
think she's just kind of trying to shift that a little bit. She
Yeah.
dresses like more like the teenagers. I mean, she has a fabulous
Yeah.
body and she can do it with
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah. It's not such a. It's a bit of a cultural thing. Erica had this too.
hmm
Yeah. I mean, Erica's now older than her, and she went through the mill. But it was part of her developmental psychology also, it's not isolated. I see a lot of it where that teenagerness just kind of gets extended.
Mm-hmm.
This, yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I didn't mean to
Oh,
laugh
it's
like
good,
this, but
Beena.
yes, you guys are actually dissecting all these things, and I was also like that. The teenage is the most empowerment
Yeah.
feeling, and
Oh,
so like, oh, I know.
there you put the finger on exactly why it happens, because it's feeling
Yeah,
empowered. Yeah.
yes,
That's
because
why I call her Erica Empowered. Interesting. Even though it
and
wasn't there at the time, that
okay.
was the thing that came through to me, because she still had that tail end of it, maybe, but it was still there. Very interesting, Mina. Very cool.
Before
Very,
putting on this deliberate weight, I was also like that.
yeah,
So me and Erica are in the same age, almost exactly same. Yaren. So, but I was also like that. I just love my style of clothing, what was in my teen. I'm still stuck there. So this thing is because we feel empowered, we feel energy. So it's a guilty thing. You guys were touching there directly. A subconscious effort to be in that state. Because that is the most energetic time period of our life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No.
On weight,
Yeah.
I was also like that.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's my what to do. I have no options. So I have to wrap myself in that like the oil cloth stuff and all these things. So
yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're funny. Wow.
Oh yes, it is
Wow.
funny. Really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this is very interesting
Yeah.
because you guys are getting. I was not able to because I'm also in that state.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, I'm still there, so that's why you guys just get it right.
No, I
Yeah.
hear you. Yeah, she's a good egg.
Mm.
She really is. She's got a lot on the ball. It's just, I've often thought, if she can get a handle on her moreness and have a proper direction for it, man, she's unstoppable as it is, but it gets all discombobulated with all these feelings and beliefs and garbage shit that
Yeah.
comes in there for her.
Right.
And
Right.
but she is extremely successful. Uh, in
Wow.
her.
Wow. Wow.
She'd be great for that. I hope this tips her up to do Way of Impeccability. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
program.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 She can.
I
Oh yeah.
I don't. She can. She should be able to afford it. From what I know
Okay.
of her, I mean, they've got her and her partner. They have over $1 million business. They've grown that in 5 years. Five
Wow.
Wow.
years.
Wow.
They're estheticians. She's an esthetician, licensed esthetician, and they've grown an incredible spa, esthetician spa in the area, and
Wow. Wow.
fabulous
Wow.
work. She's got 6, 8 different technicians other than her and the co-owner. And she's finally got it to a point where she can get 2 days off a week, where she was working 7 days.
Wow. Good. Good.
And
Good. Oh,
you do those things, but I think her mother has always been jealous of her successes and always wants her to start a business with her, the mother and her. And
oh,
Chelsea started that a few years ago, called Beautiful for You, which was like a weight program and healthy living and nutrition program. And it never really came to be anything big. Uh, but her mother needed her, even though her mother acts like she's got all of her crap together, and she really doesn't completely. Chelsea's more advanced than her mother is, but her
mm,
mother really hangs on the
mm,
biblical
mm.
side of things, the religious component. Now she's started another
Ah.
business that is all based on religion and helping people through God. I
Mm,
mean, Chelsea's very faith based, very
mm,
faith
mm,
based,
I heard
but
that. I heard
doesn't
that.
throw it in your face.
Yeah.
You know, her mom, that's what it's all about. She comes here for a session, her mother, and she's preaching the you know, the gospel every other word. You know, oh, this is that, or you know, I mean, not extreme, but enough that it's, you know, is it really necessary? You know, but whatever. Hey, to each his own. No matter.
So is the relationship with the mother a little bit toxic? Sounds like.
Oh, extremely toxic.
Yeah.
Chelsea has a difficult time being with her. You know, the mother can always find faults and put her down, and she's not doing this right. It's just, you know, the mother wants to be Chelsea. And again, no, you know, her expression for years that she didn't want her as a child. I mean, she's and as she grows up, she's reiterated that many times to her. But then she glorifies her. Oh, my daughter has a spa. My daughter's successful. I mean, her mother's like all over the place. I mean, she's kind enough, and she has moreness too. She's super stuck, super stuck. So,
Does the mother cue or encourage or solidify or entrench the girlness?
the little girlness.
Or just the girliness of any kind. In other words, she's maintaining the mother-daughter relationship. She's not making space for Chelsea to be a grown adult woman.
Yeah,
because
I guess.
that would minimize the mom's power of
Yeah.
influence. It's
Yeah,
very
but
common that they do that.
Yeah, but I think the little girl stuff comes more from, my gut is that it comes more from her father, because she's closer, she's daddy's little girl. And she stays there.
Oh,
And
and
again,
that was the refuge from the mom.
yeah.
So where did
But
this not wanting her? She grew up with the parents.
yeah. She grew up with her parents. She got pregnant and they had to get married, and they should never gotten married. I mean, they've have this quite a little bit of a toxic marriage. You know, it's good one day, bad another day, and it's just crap. And he's cheated on her, and Chelsea knows about her father's infidelity. He caught it happened before, and then she saw the emails that he's talking to his ex-wife again. And she should never be caught in this place. And she is the mother. Chelsea is the mother to her brother.
That's what I was just going to say. She's aware, she's sensible. You know, I mean, both of those two sound like they, you know, in not too sharp and in bubbles and unaware and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the two boys, I think their way of handling is, as they, the one is in law enforcement, and I think the other one's going in it as well. So, I mean, look at the bigger picture there, the abstract of needing to be in control of something, because they didn't have really control of their own lives, you know, all along.
Interesting.
Still sometimes when we look for acknowledgement from our parents, so we don't really want to grow up till they give us that acknowledgement. So it's a kind of ego thing also, that we stuck into that. We don't want to leave our childhood because we didn't have any resolution there. So that's why people just keep their mindset stuck into that phase where they can get. So this thing is a personal experience, or and you could say, because I was not aware that my sound was different before, and I was behaving and acting and projecting in a different way. When you mentioned that was a quick shift in my voice. And it is not on surface. It seems like it's just a very minor little thing. What's the point here? But once we actually say that, change our voice and make it real, it becomes a capital V voice, our voice, our own voice. So it's a very profound mechanism. But I feel that it is more from Chelsea's side, because she's still waiting for that mama's love.
Yeah, but so mama always gives like a backhanded acknowledgement. There's always a little twist on it, and that's why I said I've always had that understanding, because that's how my mother worked. you know, oh, that's good, Susan, or my father would do, oh, yeah, that's great, but you could have done it better, or
Uh,
but
Right.
just acknowledging,
Right.
hey, great job, good for you,
Yeah.
bravo,
Yeah.
and done. It has an attachment to it to bring her down. She can put her up, but she'll quickly grab her and pull her back.
Yeah. And they just, I think that some parents, they just keep one thing in their hand to control you, because my mother is
Yeah.
super other ways. She's super loving, really impeccable, and
Yeah.
all the things are super sensible. But that thing that, oh, you're not. Maybe it works out good for me later, but that was a big thing for me,
Mhm.
and still it was like since like I guess that last time we discussed it, few months back,
Mhm.
2 3 months back, we discussed it again. It was bothering me again. I was thinking about like, oh, you this. But sometimes I feel that the parents, when they love you too much, they don't want to lose their control. So they just
Yeah.
string
Yeah.
in their hand that, okay, oh, you're flying away, I will keep you down.
Mm.
Trying to fly away, I will keep you down.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, especially when the children fly very high, or you can see they're clearly going to, they're scared of being left completely
Oh,
behind.
oh, yeah.
And so the very thing that they're afraid of, they actually do, to cause that in a
Yeah.
peculiar a philosophy of opposite. It's just too much.
Yeah.
It's just too
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's very good point, Sil, because that's why also the mother always tries to jump on her coattails because she is getting left behind in her
much. Yeah.
mind. You know, her 20-year-old daughter is flying way past her. Yeah. Is she in a successful businesswoman and develop programs and at these place?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get bonus from if you get to us, so that they improve.
that was a great session. All right, we have a little bit more, and I'm done with the hearing and helping. And then I started on that first module. I redid all the stuff that was added in the feeling and believing with all those tasks, which were really, really, by the way, excellent, excellent tasks were put on those feeling and believing. So I'm going to
Yes. Okay.
start.
Sorry. I'll wait 1 second. 1 second. I'm listening. Those are good. All good. Yeah. They are. Very
All
cool.
right.
All right. All right. So
Last
we're on
hearing and helping, and it's slide 16.
16. All right.
No, sorry, 13. 13, slide 13.
13. All right. 13. Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay. So are you looking at the slides or not?
What's that?
Are you looking at the slides?
No, but I can.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. I'll put up share screen unless it interferes with you. Well, because they're different to when you went through them.
Different. I just did it yesterday.
Well,
Oh,
I don't know what time you did yesterday, but they maybe they be different or not. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe they weren't. Maybe you did it after. Beena did prettified all of these. Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
oh no, this one here I did. Yeah, I did it yesterday.
I just wanted to share the fun because, well, especially in a couple of slides time, there, Beena just made so much magic. So.
All right.
Cool.
Slide 13, application of impeccability.
Mm.
Overall seating. What does it say? Do you have it up on your screen overall?
Sure.
Overall meaning.
There we go.
Yeah, I think it's just, and I have overall seating. I think it's overall meaning. So,
Yeah, overall meaning. Yeah.
so my repeat back is overall meaning. We must make sure that all sessions slash interactions are positive and fun, regardless of how painful and unpleasant content uh, exists. We must focus on making the overall experience something that they will remember as a positive experience, as well as understanding the useful and value takeaway attached to it, and it being a joyful, positive experience. We have a
The, oh, sorry, just to stop at that point right there. I just wanted to say, did we apply this in the previous session?
sure, absolutely, absolutely, yeah,
Wasn't that exactly what we did? I mean,
exactly,
you might as well just be describing the session.
yeah.
We made it positive. We made it fun. We took sensitive. I mean, this is like a very traumatic thing that therapists could have
Oh,
you sitting in the office for 20 years on,
yep, absolutely, absolutely.
just like that.
We have a responsibility to help their brain rewire and connect slash associate learning and growth with fun, joy, usefulness, and powerful.
Check. I was gonna go. How you say? I was gonna go check now instead of just saying that.
Uh,
Exactly. Double check. Yeah.
these are powerful. Yeah. So my takeaway is, for me, learning must be fun. It is
Mm,
our responsibility to make sure positiveness and fun are associated with the
mm,
session to
mm,
emphasize learning, regardless of how painful or uncomfortable the topic might be. The overall experience they remember will be of value and usefulness, but it also allows them to
mm,
connect to a
mm,
positive
mm,
experience. And
mm,
that's what's really
mm,
important.
mm, mm.
That's the loop that is good for
Yes. Yes.
that.
Yes.
Oh, I remember
Yes.
that. Instead of like, geez, I got to go on that Zoom
Yeah.
again. This
Yeah.
was too hard, you know. So I think we surely created a positive
Yeah.
environment
Yeah.
for her.
Actually, yeah. I do make an effort to do it every now and then, but I want to be a bit more diligent and conscientious about it and build it into part of how the program is done.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
so what I want to institute, or at least remind participants, when you go away, before you continue with doing your repeat backs and slides, do a repeat back and a takeaway. It's actually in the program somewhere, but I need to remind them more. Do a repeat back and a takeaway of the session, the Zoom session. Like
Oh,
now,
yeah.
Chelsea, when she goes, before she goes to the therapist or during her therapy, if she's in her mind, what all did I learn? What all did I gain? What all did I understand? What all was valuable to me? Do that is important. Some do it automatically, like Erica and Kay, they tend to do this automatically. But
Mm,
otherwise, we tend to sometimes just skip and we continue going on, and you don't actually entrench all of the value that you gained,
mhm.
right? Because I mean, so much that came today. Rework it, go over it, think it through, apply it. Go rework it as an overview, takeaway application. It's actually in session 2 to do this, and I think in at the end of somewhere it says to not only go slide by slide but look at the intent of the whole session.
Yeah,
So
to
but i want
recap.
to i want to do this to say, before you start, continue with your takeaways of the next, continuing where you were, do a recap overview takeaway of the previous session,
Mhm.
because there's so much. Usually if you don't do that, you'll only remember 1 or 2 points,
Yeah. And
right?
I was thinking about the other day, I didn't go back and look at it, but when in the way of impeccability module, when you explain takeaways, repeat backs, and dictionary of
Yeah.
power, I'm pretty sure because I remember being on with Erica, you had her come on and share how she does it and so forth.
Uh-huh.
But I think you mentioned in there written wise that you should have 3 files. a takeaway file, a repeat back
Yeah,
file,
yeah.
and a
I
dictionary.
adjusted it to say either 3 or 1, do it slide by slide. I did adjust it, yeah.
Okay, good, because
To
that
make it
is,
an optional thing. Yeah.
that's what I did in the beginning, and going back and forth in those screens and being at the same place with all this, it was just not
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. And again, it depends on the individual. For me, again, I have them separate and it's no problem. So
Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
yeah. Like if you have a one notebook though, if you're writing by hand, you repeat backs in the middle, takeaways, repeat backs in the front, takeaways in the middle, and dictionary power at the end. It's very easy, So yeah, it depends on the individual. Yeah. It
Yeah.
depends how your brain categorizes things. That's the key. If your brain doesn't categorize that way, it doesn't work for you. So you have to work with your brain. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Slide
So
14.
I did adjust
Oh,
in way of impeccability and all of the things, all of the introductions. I said, do it either way, whatever works for you.
good.
Yeah. And I don't want to make it too clear either, because I don't want to say do it this way. I want to leave them to fiddle it out. So on the first or the second session, I said, look, you got to make the effort to sort your notes and find a system that works for you. Yes, we recommend, but different people, different strokes, different folks. It's
I
very
know,
important to
but
figure out your system, to think
the
about it, to think
the
about it.
enormity, they have no idea of the
I know, I know,
enormity
I know, I
of
know, I know, I
information.
know, I know,
And
I
that's
know, I know.
where Robin's gonna kick down the road. I'm telling you, she's gonna
Yeah,
kick herself in the ass
I
for
know, I know, I know. But yeah,
only writing it down. Only
yeah,
writing
yeah.
it down.
I agree, I
No
agree,
way to
and
she's gonna go through
exactly.
1,000 pages of information. That's not real.
Yeah,
Not in today's world.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a Hobson's choice here, catch-22. If we make them acutely aware of the enormity of what's involved with the notes, they might never engage in the notes. So I don't want to put people off
No,
either.
no, they don't. But having
I know it's
I would
yeah, and the
emphasize
handwritten.
organization is the only thing
Yeah,
you have to
yeah.
emphasize is
Right,
organization.
right, all right. I agree. Now, for some, that getting on the computer and organizing the notes is such an onerous task that it puts them off taking notes entirely. So I'd rather have them have haphazard notes a la Beena than none at all. Right,
Mm,
Beena?
mm, mm.
Yeah, because that's the choice sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
your
yeah.
haphazard notes all over the show or none at all.
Right.
But look at Donna. You saw all the when we, I don't know if you were on, Donna had a table, she's redoing her notes.
Yes.
This is a
Yes.
project like Beena too. It's a project that comes about of its own accord at some point, the desire to organize the notes. And through that, entrenchment, learning.
There you go.
So it
There you
all
go.
works in time. It
Yeah,
all works in time. It all
that's
works in time. We just have to
true.
trust. Beena started, Donna started, Robin started. Yes, it petered out a little bit, but impeccability is going to bring you back. So you're going to do a little bit and come back. Do a little bit, come back. But yeah, it's a powerful
True.
talk.
True.
So for me, it was, I feel that now, that's why I was insisting on to keep my notes in handwritten form, because I feel that ideas are, it seems like more creative, because you try to
Yes.
say thing in
Yes.
your own words. It is
Yeah.
not something you are just transcribing all these things what Sil is saying. Just
Yes.
automatically put you
Yes.
that, okay, I have to write it in my own words. And then writing
Yeah.
becomes like, oh, it is my thing, I'm creating something. So that's why it was
Yeah.
I was trying to, but not able to. So then now it's a big task, 7 notebooks.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
huge,
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
That's more over for me. That's more overwhelming than doing it in the beginning,
Yeah.
fussing
Yeah.
through it. Yeah, but like Chelsea said, there's a romantic component to writing it.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's the same thing with having the books in paper form. There's a romantic component to it. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you
There's more. There's more to this. Sorry, Abina. So say real quick. There's a neurological component to writing by hand. The brain actually operates differently when you're taking notes by hand or writing creatively by hand. So you can look it up. It's a whole big thing they do. So yeah, it does affect people differently. Go ahead, Bina. Bina?
sorry, it's a creative side enhances with handwriting.
Exactly.
I was
Exactly.
I have to write my own thoughts. I cannot
Yeah.
type it. For typing, I have
Wow.
association. It has to be precise, exactly what other person is saying. It's a
Yeah.
kind of an association we have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creativity flows better with handwriting.
Yep. 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 It's amazing. It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing how it leverages people
Yeah.
to be different. It's
Yeah.
quite astonishing. So,
I
but I agree with you though. If you are going to do them by hand, be organized. And at some point, even if you don't transcribe it, get somebody to put it on the computer for you. If you so anti the computer, but yeah, it's a different thing.
yeah.
Yeah, to take that, it's very
Yeah.
important. I
I
feel that they need to do it both together. It's important.
yeah. I handwrite my post session notes and then I go
Yes.
back in and edit
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that you do that. I think it's really potent, and that's why you get so much value out of it. It's really huge. It's really a
Yeah.
big deal.
Absolutely.
It's a
Yeah.
big deal. It's a big deal.
Okay. Slide 14. Feedback.
Oh, oh.
We must practice expectation management of our own expectations as well as those of others.
Mm,
Can
mm,
be very easy to assume that another will learn what we have learned, but it is not always the case.
mm,
We
mm,
cannot
mm.
possibly expect another to learn 100% for what we are able to learn because the truth
Exactly.
is
Exactly.
sometimes they learn more and sometimes they learn less than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We cannot ever be connected to disappointment in any way, shape, or form. So
Mm,
my takeaway on that is, for me, I must learn to manage the expectations of my own self as well as others, as we are all different in every way. We
mm.
all hear, see, experience, learn, and grow in different ways and at different speeds. Do
Yeah.
not ever compare, and you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. 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 And you won't be limited either. Never mind disappointed,
Or limited. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
That,
Hmm.
those expectations and comparisons, they just limit us.
For sure.
Are you allowed to eat cream cheese, Sue?
No, dairy. What
No?
do you cream cheese?
Oh, oh,
What?
oh.
Bagels, lox, I mean.
Yeah. Well, I like this flavored cream cheeses.
Oh
The
yeah,
salmon one in particular, and the chive and onion one. Oh, it's so
I used
good.
to chive one. The chive is good
But
on a bagel. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So this is a big deal. This is expectation management. It's not something we think we need to manage, but boy, is it ever so useful when we do start doing so. Yeah.
Yeah. Slide 15 is a quote. The best way to learn is play. So my takeaway on
Mm,
that is if you really want to learn something, it must be playful so that you can enjoy the learning process.
mm, mm, Can you look at Zoom real quick, please?
Mm-hmm.
The screen share.
Uh-huh. The best way to learn is play.
Oh, is this the way it was for you when you did it? Did the,
Oh,
the,
no,
the
no,
slide
no.
look this way?
With the colors? No. Uh-uh.
Yeah, and the trees.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah. Bina did it all, prettified it, and we made it pretty. And so I said, that there was a gap in the bottom there that was bothering me. So I said, okay, I wanted to. We never got to share that, Bina. Did you see how I fiddled with it? The quote.
Yes,
You like
yes,
that?
yes.
Uh,
It was pretty plain kind of an image. So Chu was just okay. Do that.
yeah,
When I said
needed more.
we need some play here. We
cool.
need some.
Color.
Yeah,
Needed
I
color.
love it. I love it. So magical. That's for the play too. Just the symbolicness of it. It's very
Purple
cool.
on top of it. It's all the colors
So,
like it.
so
Bring
and,
on
and,
color.
and to take this with Chelsea session, Chelsea session was really special for me. I really enjoyed it, and it was really cool. There's something I don't know what happened, but Robbins too, I guess. But Chelsea session really epitomizes this learning via play. It was a kind of a play session, wasn't
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it?
Yeah. Yeah. Despite the uncomfortableness and the painful moments there, it was really,
Yeah, it didn't matter.
I
Didn't
said to her,
matter.
you didn't think you're going to have this much fun, did you? So I said that.
Right. Right. We queued right through that.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, so cool. Oh, cool. So cool.
So here we are at some tasks.
Mm,
Slide 16. What in particular stands out and is foremost to you personally when it comes to your own impeccability? For me,
Wow.
my
Wow. Cool. So.
yeah, for me, my ability to be impeccable, the best that I can be, is by deliberately and appropriately working on myself. I have learned from my past experiences, the more I understand myself and how to appropriately manage myself, I will be able to appropriately assist others in helping themselves. I am
Repeat that, please. The more I understand myself.
and how to appropriately manage myself, I will be able to appropriately assist others in helping themselves.
Yeah.
I am continually and deliberately choosing to apply and learn more so I have more perspectives and tools to accomplish my intents, no matter what they may be.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. How does this connect to the understanding that that impeccability and appreciation are linked, as from Robin's session?
Uh, how impeccability and appreciation are linked.
Yeah, look, the question stands out. What in particular stands out and is foremost to you personally when it comes to your own impeccability?
Appreciating myself,
Exactly,
my ability.
exactly. And that when you shifted so powerfully, that's what resulted. When you started to appreciate yourself and to appreciate your own impeccability. Yeah.
Part of this shifting and what the hell am I doing? I had asked some people to tell me, why do they come to me? Why do they refer people to me? And there were some pretty interesting responses that, again, were about it just kind of typifies that the more I work on myself, the more I can assist them and no longer tell them what to do.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
made all the difference in the world. I'll read you the one from
Oh, please. I'm sorry. I can't wait. You're going to have to share all those now. Oh,
yeah.
that's really
One,
potent.
one
So
of
you
them,
ask them, why do they come to you, and why they refer, or one or the other?
yes, both. Why do they come
Both.
and why do they refer people? And Chelsea, I asked her, so she
Wow.
hasn't done the response. She said, "Give me some time. I really want to think about this." So,
Nice.
but she knows I'm going to use it for something for marketing, whatever. So, let's see. Um, Bernadette, why do I reach out to you when I need physical or emotional help? She said, your compassionate nature, you're never judgmental. You always look for the positive in situations. Why I feel the way I do. And you never say no to helping others, but you do it in a way that people feel they're helping themselves.
Wow. That is, I mean, if you want a recommendation for hearing and helping, there
There it
you
is.
go.
There it is.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bernadette. Thank you, Bernadette. Thank you, Bernadette.
It was great. And the other
Wow.
one from
Wow.
Bonnie, Bonnie, she says, short answer to your question is because I love you. She says, but I understand that doesn't explain well for marketing.
Yes. Elucidate, Bonnie. Elucidate. Not enunciate, but elucidate.
Yeah. So she is, I love the personal side of our sessions. You are laser focused to me and my needs when I'm with you. I'm not a number or a name. I'm your client at that time. You take precious time to learn and to listen, with your clients so that you understand them and why they've come to see you. And let's not leave out your knowledge and the fact that you've always been striving to be better. I never think
Yes.
twice about asking a question because I value your answer and your ability to research to find the answer. I hope that helps.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You make
yeah,
effort. You make effort to know. You make effort to learn. You make effort to grow. There's a nice little poem for you.
effort to know, effort
Sue
to
makes effort to know. Sue makes effort to learn. Sue makes effort to grow.
that's cool. You know what I
Sue.
mean? And that
Oh, it's very cool. Very cool.
I mean, that what Miles
Very,
said,
very cool.
because I know I have shifted. I know I have changed. It's again, I'm just saying it's a struggle, but it's those old habits, that old conditioning of how I
Yeah.
did it. But I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm doing it. I must be doing it. If that's
Yeah.
there was no preempting on them
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
nudging them to say that's raw from them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You don't get stuck in the old ways. If a new way comes, it's a learn and adapt. You update, boy. That's it. You don't hang on, cling to your old things because that's how I've been doing it for years, and
right.
it's always worked. No, you update. Say, hey, I got something better.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very powerful. That honesty to be able to update like that's a big deal.
It is. It is. Yeah. Because it's a big shift. I
Yeah.
know it's a better way. It's just boom, because sometimes you recognize that old habit trying to
Right.
sneak back in again. Just
Right.
shoo it
Right.
the hell out.
Right.
Okay. The next one is question is how would you encourage and motivate when needed without fostering dependency?
Hmm.
For me, in the process of getting things done and ensuring application occurs for the client so that they benefit, I may need sometimes I may sometimes need to motivate, encourage, foster, nudge, or whatever without being a crutch and causing a codependency or dependency with them. The real deal is to get them to see themselves through mirroring or asking questions that prompt them to think for themselves instead of giving them the answers all the time.
Right.
They need to learn and find resolution on their own. I am a facilitator of inspiring self reflection so they can see it
Mm,
all on their
mm,
own.
mm, mm. Would you say also it's inherent in the process of hearing somebody?
Sure. Mhm. Absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
forced to self-affirm, self-explain, self-justify in a sensible way. They're
Hmm.
forced to exhibit all of the sensibility themselves. Well, when you hear somebody, you're essentially forcing them to apply their moreness, no?
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
we're not hearing their problem, we're hearing them. That's a very big difference. Capital H hearing by definition means to hear past what's being said.
Yeah.
Said is the stuff, said is the fluff, right?
Hmm.
Said is, that what they say is just never enough. So we have to go past that, right? So for the rhymes today, stuff, fluff, and enough.
That's just something to apply their own moreness. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
It automatically cues them to do that or creates the space for them to do that,
Hmm.
encourages them to do that. The more we hear them, the more we appreciate them applying their own moreness,
Hmm. Sure.
right?
Yep. Hmm.
Self-correcting system.
Yeah. That's the awesome part of it.
Crazy,
Yeah. Elaborate
crazy.
on the power of celebrating when it comes to connecting joy to anything.
Mm.
For me, the
Uh-huh.
power of celebrating when it comes to connecting joy to anything is about the
Mm.
opportunity to rewire the brain to associate learning to anything to joy instead of pressures or stressors.
Chelsea's session was such an example.
Yeah.
Did we associate joy to stresses? Painful joy. You figured
Yeah.
it out. Yay! Well, I'm associating the joy of the learning. I don't care about your pain. Too bad.
Yeah.
That was then. Now you
Mm-hmm.
focused on this new association, this new awareness, this new potency. Wow.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting, that Psych K that she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's another methodology, another modality.
Right. I don't know what it is specifically, but yeah.
I can't remember the definition. That's what I was going to do a day before I I called you and signed on to Way of Impeccability.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
It actually sounds from what you're saying. That's amazing. But it sounds from what you're saying, there's some, if they focus on replacement, it's maybe the part of the positive psychology.
Yeah. Let me look at see how they word it.
Hmm. I'm trying to think psych K, what the K could stand for.
wow.
Uh,
So if I don't know about this, how strong and how valuable this process is, but it seems like if you haven't made this decision before, then you would be where she is right now. Huh?
Interesting.
I'm just thinking.
I don't know why that amuses me, but it's, I don't
that's
know.
funny. That's
That's
funny.
fabulous, Beena. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fabulous. Hmm.
You like it, Sarah.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
The Psych K program was designed to help people change the way they feel, behave, and interact in life. Most traditional tools, such as insight therapy, affirmations, willpower, journaling, and visualizations, are limited to the conscious mind. In Psych K, that's K, the kinesiology
Ah.
used to communicate with the subconscious mind. Because that's right. Now I remember I did them with this woman. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't know if it's the same
Interesting.
therapist she's
Interesting.
going to. And you had to talk about the issue, and then she took you through like a meditation almost about those issues, and then you had to think about them differently.
Hmm. Ah, cool. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
now I
Cool.
remember some of it. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't
So it's
really.
association management. Yeah.
This is what we do.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's only one of the things we do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Wait.
three cheers for Sue today. Really. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
it is something really because it was a different deal, and you saw that moreness and you just said okay, no, and that was something really courageous at that time, and wow, you made a good decision.
Yeah. I agree with Tina. What you did was impressive at the time.
Yes.
What do you mean? What was?
Your
You,
decision. Your
Oh,
decision.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I done the Psych K a couple times. I'm like, well, there's something I wasn't 100% sold on it, and I didn't know her, and she seemed okay, but there was this flightiness to her, and she wasn't. I think she was going through some changes, and oh, I'm sorry, I got to reschedule this or that. And I'm like, okay, get your fucking shit together. I'm coming to you to help me get my shit together. You better have yours together. You know, that was just how I was thinking at the
yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
You, I had already
Yeah.
known you, and there was
Yeah.
already an
Yeah.
attraction. Uh, uh, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
so
thank you.
yeah,
Being a jackass.
yeah.
When you open the door for me like that.
Oh, shut up, Sue. Yeah, I get it. That's about
But this is something that's very powerful that I see so often. And, like I think you said there was a bit of a flightiness to her. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Right. So people have these ideas, notions, I like to call them, because a notion is somewhat of a bit of a flighty idea and not something that has real substance to it. And, you know, they just grab onto a notion, they get all enthusiastic and all excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
So this notion of helping and doing something in psychology or whatever. And the end result is that they only pick essentially one session or one power conception, and they focus on that and they do that. And they lose the bigger pictureness. So they have something that works, but they don't have that connectivity to the entirety. This was the challenge for me in Way of Impeccability, to condense it as much as possible so that there's enough elements of the grander connectivity within Way of Impeccability. Because I know there's more at the time, but you have to make a decision. And so I said, I have to put all these elements in so that you've got enough. From there, if that's all you were to do, from there you can get to the rest. Absolutely. You know, it's all inherent in there. But this is the big challenge. This is the big challenge. Yeah.
And that, I think, was also the difference there. It was too focused. Like it felt like, okay, I got a problem today, or help me with this and let's do it. Where what I saw immediately in this program was the scope that was attached to it.
Exactly.
How many things are connected. That's what's not overwhelming, but that's what needs to be understood. If you just do association management, you miss energy management, you miss you know,
that big pictureness, the big pictureness, in other words, that is absolutely vital. Overview perspective. You gotta have that fullness. You know, if you just focus on one aspect of it, you're gonna miss the moreness.
So
sorry, but you just are.
It felt like another modality, another. This is a
exactly.
This is not you know, I'm working on your feet or I'm working on your brain. No, this I'm working on your whole self there going on. You know.
Another bubble, in other words. Like, nope, I had enough of bubbles. Yeah. All right, sorry, 1 second. Horse coming up.
The horse is coming. Okay. Drain them up.
There we go. All right. I don't know, sometimes it's noisy, other times not. I don't know why. Mostly it's fairly quiet.
Just like peeing today. It was the first time.
I noticed it also. I tried to adjust the kettle while doing it. I'm like, dang, I thought the exact same thing. It was too funny. Who knows? Maybe my naughty side was making it come out. I've been very naughty lately. I don't know why. It's Beena's fault. Beena brings it out to me.
Blame it on Beena.
Of course.
One there all the way in Karachi. She doesn't have anything.
Blame it on Beena. Because Beena doesn't deny it, you see, so it's very easy to blame it to Beena. Very convenient. Beena doesn't deny it.
She's laughing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't deny it because it gives me a opportunity to, yes, okay, I am. Just be prepared.
Brilliant.
I'm coming at you.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Genius.
So I mentioned in the comment. Did you get any notification?
What's that?
Did you get any notification? Facebook? I mentioned you in a comment. Just have a look.
Oh,
cool.
Please check.
2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Still.
So you also.
Zoom meetings are just modern seance. There's someone who wants to join us. Elizabeth, are you there? We can't hear you. Can you hear us?
Is that your comment, Beena? What, really?
That's the post. Oh my God, that's funny.
Wow.
Isn't it what we do every single time when someone joins us?
Like, I can't see this. I haven't seen this. I gotta see this.
Oh my God, that's funny. Wait, hold on.
Did you say Elizabeth? Because Elizabeth is kind of into stuff like that.
No.
Oh, it's just by chance that Elizabeth's there. We gotta tag Elizabeth in this thing too. Beena, will you tag Elizabeth?
That is funny. There's someone who wants to join us. Elizabeth, are you there? I can't hear you. You're right. Oh my God, that is priceless.
Yeah, that's priceless. Especially because people don't get the audio. So come on, Zoom, put the audio on automatically. Connect us. Don't force us into this. Are you there? Are you there? Brilliant. That's brilliant. And I love the way that they use Elizabeth. I gotta tag Elizabeth on that if
And
you
it's
don't
like,
do.
it's like the Victorian age dress,
Ah,
Yeah.
oh, all right, totally.
So it's just,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. The author of Sherlock Holmes, Conan Doyle,
Yeah.
he was big into that. He was big into that.
Next question is,
Too
how do
funny.
we do this emphasis of joy when it comes to learning and growth when the learning is not pleasant or painful? For me,
Mm,
joy does not only come, joy not only comes, joy does not oh, joy does not only come in the form of external happiness,
mm,
smiles, laughter, and fun, as it can
mm.
surely come in the form of personal internal excitement and contentment from figuring things
Yes,
out on your own. With this in
yes,
if
yes.
I keep the center column focused on what the intent is, despite the sharing of unpleasantries,
Mm,
and appropriately assist them in seeing and figuring things out for themselves, they will have an inner joy and peace as well for themselves.
mm. Yeah, and then we do that with Chelsea.
You betcha. You betcha.
We kept on that center column.
Yep.
We focused on the joy of learning, the joy of awareness, the joy of resolution, the joy of solution, the joy of figuring it out, the joy of understanding. All those joys. That's what we figured out. Thank you, painful memory. Thank you, painful experience, whatever it was, for giving us this joy of coming to awareness.
Yeah. And I think that
Yeah,
was the aha too. I heard for her
yeah.
is she was just a master of solutions,
Mm,
absolute
mm,
master, but never had anything to replace them with. And that
yeah,
without that replacement, it's
yeah,
that solution becomes a resolution
yeah,
because you've got a replacement in it.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
oh, let me sneeze. Okay.
Yum, 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 yum.
The next question is, share some examples of personal association management which may have made a difference in your life.
Mm,
For me, when I stopped associating that others needed to make me happy, I started taking my life into my own hands and empowering myself instead of giving my power away to the other person who was really controlling my happiness,
mm,
or
mm,
so I thought.
mm.
Also, making the connections that my personal BMN was my fake control of food. Hmm. Facing my awful truth. Bulimia was an inappropriate application of my control, but at the time, that was an appropriate application of my goodness, and I was impeccable doing it. It just lacked the ability to make the perspective shift to make it more appropriate for me. Bulimia represented my invisibility and was a vehicle to hide myself so for the phony goes away. The appeasement.
Wow, wow, wow. Can you say that sentence again, please? I never heard you express it like that.
Mhm.
Wow, wow, wow. That was very insightful. That was really huge. That was really deep too. Please say that again.
Bulimia represented my invisibility and was a vehicle to hide myself so the phony goes away.
Wow, 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 wow. Is that not just really awesomely deep, Beena? What do you think on that?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Sue, please just share more about this. What you
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
So the appeasement I carried in regards to it was my intent to be good, but was an
Mm,
inappropriate appropriateness.
mm,
Bulimia was an inappropriate application of my control, but at the
yeah.
time, it was an appropriate application of my goodness, and
Yeah.
I was being impeccable doing it. I just lacked the ability to make the perspective shift to make it more appropriate for me.
Mm.
The association, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying, wow, it's just huge. This sophistication of expression.
Yeah, that whole
Dang.
bulimia thing was a big breakthrough for me, you know, and it just opened up so much other stuff for me. It really did. Another one is the association of feelings, I believe, and how they feed on each other in a lunacy loop until I was able to see the obvious and make changes, make a choice to change it. For example, my relationship with my mother. Until I did that feeling and believing and really got the loop, I'm like, oh, there it is. I don't believe that anymore. I'm not, my feelings and my beliefs are not tied to that. So I got to release that and be what I want to be with my mother.
Yes. Do you feel that you could be joyful and kind of laugh with your mother now and like this?
Sure. I sent her a couple days. It's her birthday, and we were all going to be going down this Saturday, but it was all canceled because she wants to get the second COVID vaccine, and then she wants it safer for her so that she can have not only her kids but spouses and grandkids there to see.
Wow, good. Yeah, well, good. Brilliant.
So it was just going to be her 5 kids. So I wrote her a card this morning, and it was kind of funny. It wasn't a traditional card. My friend does that encaustic artwork. So I had bought a bunch of her.
Wow.
Bought a bunch of her. She made
cards
out of them that are blank inside. So I wrote, I put, happy 90th birthday, Mom. On February the 13th, you will have officially lived 32,850 days. What amazing accomplishment.
I don't know why. That's so funny. Oh, that's brilliant. Anyway.
Mother absolutely believed, because of her aunt dying, she was never going to make it to the age 90. Never. Now she's not really there yet. In a few days.
Wow. That's why it's so funny. Like proof that you've been wrong. Not just about this, but about everything else too. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
Yeah. I said, what else did I write on there? It appeared for you. I said, thanks. Something about thanks for all those days. No. I hope you appreciate all those days and enjoy many more. Can't wait to see you when it's safe. It's safer due to COVID. Enjoy all of your days, and thanks for all that you have taught me in life. So it's a very different twist on how I would never be pushy at any level with her, you know. But so there was some humor and some, because that's who she is. She was always feeling, I'm never going to make it. And now she's going to take that number and she's going to use 32,850 days apart. You know, we'll never do it.
Exactly. I mean, you know, when you with your shift of perspective to your mother becomes a hoot. She becomes this riot of amusement.
Me now, yeah. You know, her vagina's falling out. So you know, I said, she goes get this thing to push it back up. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, you know, whatever. Your JJ fell out. Come on. I don't know what this thing is hanging out here, but I put up with it, Susan. I can live. I said, Mom, it's part of your insides. What?
Oh boy, talk about the vagina monologue.
Probably crawling under
on steroids. Oh boy. Yeah. I don't think when that first came out, they imagined this from a 90-year-old, you know.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh goodness. Like I said, your mother's just become this riot, you know. It's so funny. Yeah.
Association is another association was my acceptance. Yeah, right, Phil.
It's you making me laugh. It makes me cough sometimes. I don't know why.
That happens to me.
Anyway,
I get
yeah.
that. So another association wise was my acceptance of inappropriate sexual innuendos to losing my self-respect along the way. Once I realized I was giving away my self-respect, I learned to cue myself and others on how I wanted to be treated without being a bitch or having aggressive words with someone.
Nice.
Deliberate.
Nice. That's important. That's important, that nuance there. Your intent, sorry to interrupt us. That's a huge nuance. Massive, massively important. Just your goodness. Because some people do that. They fix the problem and then they just sort of create another problem. Okay, it works, but you now become a bitch. No, sorry. Not for Sue.
Yeah. That
Not
brought
for
up
Sue.
my deliberateness, my awareness, my understanding, diplomacy, being self-empowered, etc. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, very cool. Very, very, very cool. Brilliant, in fact.
Make a list of your unobvious and not usually conscious expectations when it comes to interactions and assistance in general.
Oh, I got to write it again. Make a list of your unobvious and not usually conscious expectations when it comes to interactions and assistance in general. Oh, so the very subtle expectations. Okay, cool.
For me, there that the other person can see or understand what I am seeing, hearing, or understanding. It may seem obvious to me. This is where my capital H hearing, cueing, appropriate questions, asking appropriate questions to make them think more deeply, and mirroring will come into play to shift that expectation in myself.
Very
Also,
powerful.
yeah, also offering my way of doing things before they can get a chance to try to figure it out for themselves.
I just hear your mom there. Oh, I lost you. Sir.
It says, you want me to show you my notes? You want me to show you my notes? Shut up.
Exactly.
Shut up. Yeah. You only had to say that about from 10 people. And I finally I'm like, no, I'm not showing you what I do, but I'll give you an idea, but no. So offer my way of doing things before they can get a chance to try to figure it out for themselves in their own way. Also, the unobvious expectation that I can help them because of my desire to help. But sometimes people don't want help and they don't want to change. And I expect that they want the same thing as I do, to be the
That's
best
important.
that I can be. And they don't want that. They don't necessarily want that.
Exactly.
Still
They're
hear
not
you.
ready for it. Yeah. And on Sue's first point there, that's yes. Sorry, Beena. That's what I do with you. I have those expectations with you, and it's not right, not good.
Not
Sorry,
okay. No, not expectations. It was like I was thinking about the perception. I have to be more cautious with my words, but I was saying that I was just getting so comfortable, so relaxed that I'm saying that I'm not getting it. I can't do this. I can't do this because too caught up into doing that. I was not paying attention to you
Yeah.
were achieving it. And
Right. But look at my unobvious expectation of
yes,
expecting you to get it because I get it. Come on. So, there's all zillion things that go differently here. And even the expectation of similar language usage. Yeah. Very powerful. Very powerful. Very powerful.
I was just it was my carelessness in that I was not paying attention to that what I'm doing wrong, why he's not getting my point. I was so caught up into that, trying to
You
implement
just,
that, and he's not listening. But
you're queuing us. You're queuing us, Sue. Sorry, it's been okay.
no, I was just okay. So there was a miss,
Oh,
and it was about the slide because you know that how we do slides. and we do courses. I just go there and I read it in my mind. I read it like I'm talking to myself, and a lot of things. I do pay attention to every single word.
Right.
This is how I learned all these things. So I was doing that, and I was just wondering on one point that still I'm not getting this completely. And my choice of words was wrong. I was saying that no, I can't do this because he was suggesting that Beena try to think like this, and okay, try to think like this. And I was just saying, keep saying that I can't do this, and that was so irritating for Sel because it was a very simple thing for him, like duh, and he was in. There is an expectations that okay, how we cannot get this? It's a very simple thing, and I was going into detail, and that become really a huge deal. We were almost
Because in my brain, I'm hearing, I can't do this. I can't do this. No, but you can, Beena. No, don't say you can't. Don't program yourself that you can't.
huge deal. We were fighting. Literally, we were fighting like kids. Oh, okay, Beena, you cannot do anything. Whatever you want to believe in. I was saying, okay, I'm not gonna do anything, and I was trying to skip that, and he says, no, you cannot proceed till you get your. And that
Oh
was like
dear. Oh dear. I can only laugh at our foolishness, right, Beena? Oh
that.
dear.
I
Seriously.
cannot share my perspective because he said that no, you cannot proceed till you get.
That's
And
too funny.
then he asked
Yeah.
me in 2 seconds,
Idiot.
share your perspective, and I said nope, I haven't done yet. Okay, I
Right.
cannot do it.
Right.
And it was
It's the foot. Sorry.
and the whole point was that in my understanding, I was just going there that because I do not never deliberately, I never ignore or take for granted whatever he said that. Whatever in any words, I do pay attention because this is what receptivity
Oh,
is for me. When you share something, I do pay attention, try to pay attention to every single word what you say. So
yeah. Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is what receptivity is for me.
And I was paying attention to your words and just looped
And
on
I
itself.
was using wrong words. We were fighting it. If we were in a studio, we might be pulling each other's hair like yeah.
It's such super children, yeah. But it's that expectation. What triggered this for me as you went, to deal with whatever you're dealing with there, is the first part of the answer to the response to this last task. What was the very first thing you said there about expectations?
For me, the other person that they can see or understand what I am seeing, understanding, or hearing.
Exactly. And I make this, I assume that, but Beena, come on, it's obvious. Come on. So someone's like, sometimes what's really, really obvious to us, because Beena 99 times out of, no, 999,000 out of a million times gets it. Now suddenly when she doesn't, now I'm more like, oh, it's communication happens in the self communication. So very important to keep in mind, just not to have that expectation. We not just communication, but we have holes sometimes that you go your whole life and you just happen to miss this one thing. And it's like, but, and it's just not obvious because we missed it somehow. It happens. It happens. I've been always inordinately fascinated when I become aware of something that, wow, I only realized this now. I should have known this at age 5 or whatever.
And
It's fascinating to me.
just to understand the complexity of communication, the expectation was not from one side. When he was expecting me to understand it immediately as he wants to, my expectation was from him that no, he needs to give me time for this. Why I always have to understand everything right there? No, and that was becoming more than just a communication thing. It becomes a kind of an ego thing also, ego nonsense, that why she is not understanding and why he is not understanding, why I'm not having this opportunity to be in some a bit of a stupid someone, that okay, I can do this. And that was something just compounding, and this is how things happen. That's why I was saying that I was so amused by
Yeah.
that compounding, understanding and compounding, and then how ego subtly just comes in, creeps in.
Yes. And that's the thing. We were both low energy. We were tired. You were like, remember later in the day, I had to go sleep. I couldn't keep my eyes open anymore, And before bedtime, I see this. You get idiotic. You get really stupid when your energy is low. It's astonishing, and it sneaks in. It's so bloody subtle, and it convinces you that you are being sensible. No, this makes perfect sense. It's perfectly justified. No, it's not. Bloody hell! It's ridiculous, idiotic nonsense. But it really, in the moment, really sucks you in.
I had, I
Big
had
lesson.
this
Big lesson.
association. I had some association with the word objection in my mind. And what happened there, when I said that I can't do this, immediately he just used the word objection. Why you are objecting? How can I not object on this? How can I not object on this? And that was like, so see that wrong association. In my mind, something is my right. Is my right. I can object.
Yeah.
Even still have no right to say that, okay, you cannot object.
Exactly.
That's where Bob Newhart should have showed up and go,
But come on, come on.
stop
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
And that really, it was an exercise for both of us. And okay, it was not a good experience, but yes, we got a lot of out of it, because I had this association is because I said that why you use this word objection, where this objection word comes in. And he was like, because you are objecting. And I said, okay, if I am objecting, so then it gets more compound, layer after layer, layer after layer. And it was like a snowball effect, and it was becoming huge.
Oh my God. Then you went to bed and it was all over.
So
No, the energy plays a
Well,
big part. I think when I did I did all the feeling and believing stuff, there was something in there, and I wrote a big thing about that low energy, which really plays a part in how it reduces our ability to think. You may have been able to comprehend it had you had more energy. Who knows? You know.
for last week, I'm just sleeping for 4 to 5 hours.
Oh Jesus. Oh, I could not.
Like, I don't know, but no, I cannot. And then my mind, I woke up and I said how it. That's why I just fall asleep. I was like, oh.
but beautiful clear. So it's just the most cute snores.
See, this is the most diplomatic way that to tell someone that you. Yeah?
Oh, it was too big. It really was. I have a recording. Oh no, I deleted the recording. Dang it! I did. No, it's just very sweet. Like, yeah, I can't. I don't. I'm too. You know, it's too masculine what I do. It's very cute. It's very feminine. It's very sweet. Yeah.
Is my headset is just right on my mouth, and I was sleeping. So every breathe he can listen, and it was on speaker.
Yeah, it was very faint. Yeah. But then when they wake up to the sleepiness, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love it. Anyway, let's continue. We get all digressions here.
Is what's most important to you? For me, at this point, figuring out how to apply this program to my clients effectively, but to not have to be Sil or Beena, because I can't. I'm just me. That's what's important to me. The next slide is there is more to this program than techniques for interactions, assisting, and communicating. The deep spiritual path when it is fully applied. When we hear the world and the universe around us, that hearing changes everything. So that takeaway for me is this is just quite the acute or accurate assumption. This is quite the accurate summation of this course, and of course, there's always more. Yeah.
Now, I've been thinking about that, about how you to apply for
Mhm.
you, how you want to apply this for you. I've been thinking a lot about that because you brought it up last time, and
Yeah.
it's on your mind. Yes. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Well, where I'd like to go at some point in depth with that.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? There's also some stuff that will show up here in a lot of the tasks from Feeling We Believe. I went through everything, all the slides, and I didn't
Mm.
redo the slide. I just redid the tasks or anything that was different. Like sometimes you added a quote in there that wasn't there.
Right. 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 You see the difference. Yeah. Yeah. I hear
Yeah,
you.
what
Very
was
cool.
different.
Very cool. Very cool.
So
Was that the last part of the of
hearing
the
and helping.
of, of the
Would you
slide?
say?
Did we did to the last slide? Yeah.
Yep. For
Ah,
hearing and
cool.
helping.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, I thought there was another slide of thoughts after. Oh no. Okay. What's most important to you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 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 And then there was just the thank yous. Yeah. 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 Okay.
Yeah.
So what's most important to you again?
Really figuring out right now what's important to me is
Mm,
figuring out how to really put a program together
yeah.
about
Yeah.
that incorporates this work so I can do it on Zoom.
Yeah.
My one-on-one stuff with people is different because I'm touching
Yeah.
people, but I'm also talking in this language and it works. I mean, clearly,
Yeah.
I mean, Chelsea's picking up the words, people that I see fairly often. They get it. I'm
Yeah.
not too worried about that. It's the Zoom stuff where I'm not touching
Yeah.
anybody and
Yeah.
getting extra information that I can
Yeah. Yeah.
utilize
Yeah.
in the process. But
Okay. Okay. All right. We'll go through feeling and believing in a moment. I just wanted to add to this, where I absolutely do feel on this particular question. Just hold on, just a little bit longer until we get the subgroup started. It is in works. This that post I made. That's kind of step one. I'm gonna make a couple more in a vein. And I'm going somewhere. I'm preparing the groundwork. Look at that post now, in terms of preparing the groundwork for saying, okay, it's what you get out of it, no structure, etc., etc. So now I'm going to lead up to that, where it's kind of really obvious that all these people commenting and posting are going to be talking. And I want to make a unit to say how to get the most out of this group, right? And add that as one post into it. And then same thing, not just how to get the most out of this group as a learner and as a coach, right? Same from both sides. Yeah. If you want to get the most out of this is in the group, don't be poaching clients, don't be telling people, etc., stuff like that, which also sets up us in the private group that this is going to be our modality, how we do things and all that. At any rate, so where I'm going with this is in the in the subgroup, in the subscription group. There we are going to be doing things, or at least I'm going to set up way of impeccability, where I'm going to share, go through a session, read through all the slides, and then fine. Now you go back home and you go through that slide by slide. They want to have access to the website, right? But they have now the video in thing. Okay, rewatch the video, and pause it, put off the sound, read it, do a repeat back, do a takeaway, and do etc. etc. Then they email that to me, and then come a day we do a Facebook Live for I don't know 3-4 hours, and I read out all the takeaways, discuss it, talk about it, and then do another one with questions. So I have three sessions per week, in other words, right? But here the key is, Sue, it is not just doing it on Zoom one-on-one, but doing group Zoom.
Mhm.
And I feel with all your clients, and over the years, all the people, when you start putting them together and you say, hey, I'm doing this as a group thing, and you come on, and it's now, again, it's that where it's numbers that make it worthwhile, right?
Mhm.
So you can have a lower cost. But again, they already used to paying you 75, but now they come on Zoom and it's all together. Okay, it's a little longer, but man, that You got 10, 20 people, it changes your whole dynamic, right? So I'm just saying that in terms of making things worthwhile for you, you don't have to have a problem either. It could just be that you have a group session, and whatever it is, you send in your questions beforehand, or your topic, or the thing that's on your mind, and this is what we're going to discuss, and then you just go from there. Look today, you can use anything as a starting point. The content is not the issue. It never is. It's the methodology.
Are you planning to do the Way of Impeccability course?
I am.
Start to finish with it? Yeah.
Say again?
Are you planning on doing the Way of Impeccability course slide by slide?
Right.
On the program in order, and then just
correct, session by session. Right. Right. Week by week. Yeah. Like do a session per week. Yeah. And then it's there in the video section, and as I read through it, I discuss a little bit, and then they submit all their questions, and all the, not the questions, the repeat backs and takeaways and dictionary of power and their tasks. They send that in an email, and then I have a session where I read those, right? So then I go through it again, but I'm reading it, and I'm sharing from different people. I just pick at random, so you never know if you're going to be called or not, so you got to do it, right? And again, it doesn't even matter if when you started, let's say we're a few weeks down the road, and somebody just start new. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. And then we do the questions. And the questions, again, it don't matter whether you're on module 1 or 8, makes no difference. So this is an ongoing, continuous thing. And it don't matter when you start, but we're always talking about this. And of course, in those questions, how do I deal with my mom, who just keeps whatever, it's like, and that stuff comes up, and then you relate it to Way of Impeccability. So then you're giving a bit of personal, because when they come on the questions, that's when they come on Zoom. And even if you're going to have 100 people on Zoom, it don't matter, because everybody's listening on Zoom, and also they've submitted the questions ahead of time. So this is where, like somebody helps me. And, so, okay, so we sorted the questions ahead of time, but Beena does the prompt, and she's messaging the people. The next one, okay, Marianne, you're going to be next. Are you ready? You got, okay. And then she responds privately to Beena. Yes, okay, I'm ready. And then as soon as I'm finished, Beena comes on Zoom. She says, Marianne, you're next, and then Marianne comes, she shares a question, and we discuss. It's very, very powerful. And when you start hearing those questions from others, inevitably they ask the same questions as you want to know. And people are stuck on similar things and all that. And sometimes not. You're like, wow, I never thought of that. It's very powerful. But this is group. This is the power of group. And you can do large numbers this way. It's very amazing.
What was I going to say? What if Mary doesn't show up on the day you've chosen her? Does it matter?
Yeah, no, it makes no difference, because Beena's there, or whoever, somebody assisting, because I want Beena to be part of the answers, but it's just that little bit of admin, because you focused on talking. I don't want to be sitting there typing, so like, it's no problem. So Beena messages them. If they don't respond, you're off the queue next, because you've already the questions are submitted ahead of time.
Right.
So and again, we eliminate duplicate questions. So we've got an order as they came in. If you don't come next, that's it. You lose your turn. You go back of the queue.
Everybody's questions get answered? What if your question?
If you can within the time, but sometimes it's not possible. And okay, we'll try and get to you next time. Just keep your question for next time if it's not resolved. So you try.
But you don't email them an answer to their question.
No.
Because
it's live.
Could somebody be left out time after time after time?
It's possible. It's possible. Not necessarily though, because if we don't get enough time, and it is a question that we do want to answer, then we can say, look, put your question in again, and those who didn't get answered today, you come to the top of the list for next time, if you still want us to deal with the question. Sometimes they say, no worries, it was answered in a roundabout way, and so it's not a problem. It's not a problem.
So we can all, because we will already have all those questions, so we will design our discussion so we can answer all these things. But even if someone wants some personalized additions to that, then they can ask, and of course we will answer that.
Exactly. So yeah, when you get to the end of the session, within the time limits more or less, I can see, okay, I've got another 5 questions. I can just read through those and then answer them without the person asking them in a more general way. So yeah.
Got you.
But yeah, it's possible, Sue, but then, you'll adapt as appropriate in the circumstance. Yeah.
But I mean, say you have 100 or 1,000 people that come on. I mean, it's,
when the numbers are that big, inevitably what happens in the circumstance is that people's questions get heard and people on the list will drop off. It's amazing. And so they just say, oh, never mind, my question's been answered. And then, okay, next. There's only so many questions you can ask, really. It's amazing.
Sure,
and out of 1,000 people, you look to, the number of people that will submit a question is very small. Most people, they just want to listen. They don't want to be in the forefront, in the eye.
True.
It's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. Typically, the people who look at the number of people that post actively in the group relative to the membership. So tiny fractions. It's like 1% or 0.1% even. So yeah. So it's not a problem. It's a self-correcting problem. And again, you say, look, we're going to do the best we can, right? I mean, if you really, really, really stuck, okay, reach out, but typically it's a self-correcting thing. If you spend, 2-3 hours or 4, typically those sessions will probably be 4-hour sessions, right? And people come, they ask the question, they go. But most people stick around and listen to it because it's incredibly valuable. And typically your answers get resolved. Because even if it's not your specific question, through looking at the windows, you get to understand the house.
So you're going to do, so you're doing 1 session a week, 1 slide a week.
Correct.
For 4 hours.
Okay, so I'm going to do 3 live sessions. One is me reading through Way of Impeccability, the session, right? And that won't necessarily take 4 hours. That may be however long it takes me to read through it. I don't know how long it takes me to read through a session. I don't know really, but likely it's about an hour, I would imagine. I read through the session. If it's going to be longer than an hour, then I think I will just do it for the next week. Just go halfway. So I'll probably try to limit me reading through, because as I read through, stuff comes up into my brain. I elaborate a little bit. So it's never just a strict reading through, and I don't want it to be a strict reading through. I want it to be a bit of elaboration, a bit of discussion, maybe with Beena or you, whoever's on at the time. Okay, so we go through the slides. So then it's fairly short. So roughly like, it's a half an hour video that you watch and you pause and you do your repeat. You can go through it slide by slide. Then we come back on the next session, whenever that is, a few days later. Let's say we do this on Sunday. And we come back on Friday, and Fridays, I read everybody's repeat backs and takeaways, slide by slide, and Dictionary of Power, right? So that's going to take a bit of work. I'll pick from the emails and, okay, so there's 30 slides, which means that's 90 emails I'll have to read to get, or 60 emails to get a different repeat back and a different takeaway. But that's just copy. I can do that on live, on the fly. I have all those emails. I put them in a separate folder on my email thing. I open the first one. Okay, slide 1. And people have to say slide 1, slide 2. Okay, so I just pick it. And that's simple enough to do. I don't have to do it ahead of time either. So now I'm reading out your repeat backs, your takeaways, and everyone. So each slide gets a different repeat back, different takeaway, and then the Dictionary of Power if there is an entry as well. And so that's what that's all about, the discussion, reading it through, and I go through and say, oh, that's interesting, and just elaborate on this, right? So, and maybe people are typing in live and asking questions, and then again, here's where somebody assisting me is very useful. So let's say you guys are there and you're looking at the comments, and then you can say, oh, hey, so here's somebody with a really interesting question and a comment, and you bring it up and you talk about it. That's it, right? So it's interactive a little bit. And then the third session is when they come with the questions, and now we are on Zoom, all of us, because now you talk to me, you present your question live. And so when I give you the reply, you have some response. You can say, I didn't, whatever, whatever the response is, we have a bit of a chat. Okay, next. It's very powerful, very, very powerful. It's really cool.
So then total for the week, how many hours is planned for Zoom?
For me, for Zoom, only 4. But for me, Facebook Live, likely to go through the session and read the repeat backs and uh, takeaways. I'm guessing, I don't know, an hour, maybe two. I don't know how long it would take to go, because I don't have to reread the slides. I can just bring it up on screen and say, okay, here's Mary's repeat back, here's Joe's repeat back, takeaway. So probably, another hour or so, roughly, maybe 2 hours most. And then the question session, that's the 4-hour Zoom session. That's the long one. Now, the people they only need to stick around for when their question is, and we can let them know ahead of time. Okay, you got to be on. Yes, your question is far down the line, but if it goes quickly and people don't turn up, you may come quicker. So pretty much, if you're at the back end of the queue, you got to stick around. You can take a chance, but again, if they don't show up, then we just put them at the back of the queue. So all right, But typically, people do stick around. I saw this in COD. They used the system, and you can see the numbers of how many people are attending, and mostly everybody stuck around. It's amazing.
Yeah. So for 4 hours, somebody will stick around for 4 hours to get their question answered.
And everybody else will stick around till the end to hear all the questions answered, because it's so valuable. Everybody sticks around. Everybody sticks around. And people come, they even if, like for instance, they had different focuses in the program. Like there was a focus on selling, and so you could go to different question and answer sessions, even if that wasn't the thing that where you even had a question. People would just come and listen because it was just powerful, interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Even if they had nothing to do with it, but if it wasn't their direct focus. Yeah.
So how are you? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying, like, let's say, for instance, later on, I've done all the videos for Way of Impeccability, and then I want to start on feeling and believing or worrying or whatever. Somebody who's not I don't have worry problems, but they come just because it's interesting stuff, and just because there's discernment and layeredness and moreness, you learn. So the things become, kind of addictive in and of themselves. It's pretty cool.
So how long do you anticipate it's going to take you to get through the Way of Impeccability? Did you calculate that?
Yeah, well, that's 20. If I do one session per week, there's 28 or 27 sessions. So, so what's 28 weeks? That's 7 months. Okay.
Okay.
I don't mind. Doesn't matter to me.
So how are you monetizing this?
Subscription, for monthly subscription.
What's the subscription?
That I don't know yet. That I'll have to see. And that's the open question right now. But again, I'm not in a hurry to do this. We're on a monthly subscription. As long as everybody feels week to week they're getting value and going into it in that way, right? That's going to be a lot of value in the group, because in the meantime, the other thing that's important, this group is not for everybody. It's a private group. And the key is this group is for people who want to learn and grow for real.
Yeah.
So I was just going to say, so what will happen in the group? We're going to encourage you. Part of your subscription, part of your duty, as it were, is to share your journey in the group. So you're busy working on your notes and you have a revelation and you have an understanding and you have a click or you get stuck. You post about it, right? So every day there's posting going on between members. You're going to get enormous compounded value when we are so focused and you sharing your journey. And now people are going to jump. Yes, I had the same thing. Yes, I got stuck on this point too. Yes, this was a big aha for me too. Oh my God, being treated as good right from get-go. God's body, this is so huge. Blah, blah, blah. See? And we'll train them how to share. We'll train them how to share. So the value that people are going to get out of this, does it matter if I take 7 months? I could take 70 months. Makes no difference. They're going to be getting value. Say again, Beena?
Sorry, I was talking to one more.
To the bunny? Beena's sister has a pet bunny. And Beena has a very peculiar relationship with the bunny. The bunny's name is Cloud. And Cloud tries to come into the room every now and then, and Beena gives him that glare. It's like, nope, Don't even try it. Don't even try it. And he stops right on the threshold. It's too funny. It's like there's this whole story, Beena and the bunny. It's all very tight.
Um, so,
Anyway,
so that all being said, so you're going to put this program online. So are people going to have access to the Zoom sessions? So if they miss it, they miss it. I mean, who can
oh, I thought you meant, sorry,
Friday
access
and
to the
Friday?
online stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all the Zoom sessions will be saved as a video because it's a Facebook Live. So yeah, that's all saved. Yeah.
Oh, so the Zooms are all Facebook Lives.
Correct. Every time I'm on Zoom, when you say Zooms, I'm going to be on my own on Zoom, just with whoever wants to come and join me, facilitators, in other words, or, a special guest maybe or whatever. But all the times that I'm on Zoom, I'm Facebook Live. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
And we may even do bonus times, if we have less clients and, like Open Friday or whatever, and I've got something on my mind I want to chat about. Okay, go on Facebook Live.
Mhm. Yeah. So, my big question is going to be, how are you going to monetize that, and how are your facilitators going to get paid?
Right. Well, I want to look at it this way. I want to say ahead of time. I'm going to say, okay, what do I need to get out of this where I'm happy and comfortable,
Mhm.
and then base my subscription around that as a
Mhm.
starting point, not as a need to just pay my bills, no, but as what do I want rather to get out of this where I'm comfortable. Everybody else who's involved is comfortable. I can afford to pay admins for the public group where I don't even have to go there at all, except just occasionally to go and fiddle, share my memory, stuff like that. But minimal work there, so that I can afford to pay for everything in this. So then take that sum and divide it by the number of subscribers, right? That are potentially interested, and say, okay, this is it. Everybody comes, it gets divided, and it starts off with, let's just say I cap the subscription at 100. I don't think it's viable to go over 100. Okay, so we cap it at $100, and let's say we got to get 20,000 a month out of this to pay for everybody, for argument's sake, right? So that means at 100 into 20,000, what's that? We need what? Whatever that math is. I'm not doing the 20,000 divided by 100. That's 4 zeros. Take off 2. That's 200 members, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
200 members. You see my point here? That's not a big nut to crack. So, okay, so I say, look, for us to get this started at $100 subscription, we need 200 members. But the more that come, we'll kick it off at that point. Okay, that's what you guys are committed for. However, as our membership increases, more subscribers, your subscription goes down. It's not going to go down evenly because our expenses don't go down evenly. But okay, let's say when we get to 400 members, your subscription is not going to be 50, but it's going to be 60 or 70. So,
Mhm.
so in other words,
Right.
not only do I have extra to pay for additional staffing, but our cut goes up as well. So the more people we have, the more profitable it is for us. The more takeaway for me personally comes out of it. Okay, of course, there's also more work involved, so fair enough. But I like that system, and really, if you think, let's just say, I think we actually worked out like 30,000 is the number. So 30,000 is 300 people at 100 or 600 at 50.
Mhm.
That's not that unrealistic. 12,000 or 1,200 at 25. With 30, 50, 100,000 people, that's not unrealistic, right?
Mhm.
I mean, we're at 32,000 now, and it's early February. Come summer, we're likely going to be, definitely be over 50,000 by summer. By the end of the year, if not way before the end of the year, we're looking at 100,000 people. So these numbers to get 1,000 paying people out of 100,000, at that number, $20-$30, this is not unrealistic, not in the least, not in the least. And now we're making serious money. Yeah,
So, I mean, out of the gate, you're looking at 20,000, 30,000 a month.
somewhere there. I'll have to do the math. I haven't looked at, but yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get a substantial figure. And I'll explain to people, I say, look, you're going to get access to something that on your own, it's going to cost you thousands. These are high-end programs.
Mhm.
And this is it. And it's limited. But okay, you get one-on-one and all this, but still, you're going to get close to that value. What makes this worth it for me to do is, well, I end up with the same, really, at the end of the day, but now I can bring this to everybody. So
Mhm.
it's a collaboration of all of us together, right? Where otherwise, I'm forced to do it as a high end thing to a few select people. That's it, right?
Mhm.
The key is that we need to get a sufficient number of people to start, and I'll put that out in the group. So okay, the group is there, people are signed up for it, and we keep watching that membership grow. And the people that are doing it, we can just have posts and stuff, and not start the subscription, and just keeping it warm until the number gets to a point where there's enough. Okay, we go, because now those people are already started and want this are going to encourage and get others involved as well, right? They're going to recruit. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and because the amount of work will be higher, and we still is already doing a lot of stuff. Like already everything is done by him. So my personal opinion in that first everything, if we take and assume everything as a part of investment, which is from all from him, uh, from content and everything. So I personally want him to first see things for his own
Mm,
stability
mm,
and then start doing all these
Sure.
things.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm
So
sorry, sir, I'm interrupting you because this is fair enough.
I love
He
it,
is
Beena, that you're
providing a
looking
lot.
out for me. I love it, Beena. I absolutely love it. So going further down
We
the
have
line.
to be a bit.
Oh, go ahead, Beena.
Yeah. No, I was just saying that we have to consider, because in this, if we assume this as a company, so this is the whole investment is from his side.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So
All right, but let's go further down the road.
all of us, and
We-
yeah,
ah,
yeah. So we will be extra ones, of course. So first we will see that the investment return goes to him first.
yes,
Mhm.
but thank you, Beena. I appreciate that very much. All right, so go down the road. So we go back to our center column, which was Sue and what Sue wants to do.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
Your question of what's important to you. So all of this wasn't just me sharing my plans here. It's connected to you.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
how now is the question? I say, all
Mhm.
right. So as we go further down the road and we get this thing sorted and we iron out, there's always kinks and stuff to we get it fine tuned and tweaked. And we say, okay, we've got, like you said, we're getting too many questions that we can't answer. Nothing that says you or Beena can't do a 4-hour answer question session,
Mhm.
and somebody feeds you the questions. One of the admins. That's an easy thing to do, to feed the questions. That's a simple thing to do,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
So now you spend the time answering those questions. So okay, I answered the whatever 50 questions on but okay, we still got whatever. You can do it in a separate parallel at the same time. Okay, you go to those questions and this one, and we split up the questions and we all do those. Or
Mhm.
why not? See? So
Yes.
now, of course, and this is a paying gig. This is a very profitable paying gig.
Mhm.
See what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, that's,
Oh,
that's a bit of my concern there, because right now, I am on Zoom, uh, 24 or 30 hours,
no,
okay,
no,
with zero,
no,
zero money.
no, no.
I'm really struggling to, have my life, see clients coming in here, try to, revamp a marketing thing, keep my exercising, cooking, cleaning, I'm like,
Right,
whoa, 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 whoa. Uh,
right.
You know, the feeling and believing stuff, I think this is going to be a temporary thing. I mean, shouldn't say temporary. It's shorter lived, you know.
Mm,
If there's
mm,
another month or whatever it is, we don't know how long it's going to take. You can see she got through not even 3 slides.
right,
Diane got through 14 slides.
right, right,
There is no, it's however long it takes for that person.
right. Right.
But holy moly's, you know, I'm like, where am I squeezing in me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have,
Yeah.
you are hyper focused and have one intent, one thought process. Not that you don't have to, you know, clean your RV or go get
Right.
food
Right.
and all that other stuff.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm like, where am I going here? What am I doing? How am I going to make? I can't continue to give that much
Yeah.
money
Yeah.
away because of my time. But
Yeah.
the even the feeling and believing, I'm like, this is really interesting. I really, really like this course. Um,
Yeah.
because it's opening up people and it's such a good topic that is
Exactly.
connected to every freaking
Right.
thing.
Right.
It is.
Right. And that's two, to bring this back too. This is another reason why I've wanted to open this up and do it as a free course, because I feel that okay, I will start making an effort to especially the first, after the first, like next time, I'll be very focused in getting through the course. I definitely allowed it to explode into side paths, and that's fine. I'm happy with that, especially in the first one. It is that grab, that hook, that immersion.
Mhm.
Chelsea's hooked now.
Oh, there's no
Diane, same way. They're hooked. Right. So this is key, right? So now we can go through that. The process has been started. That immersion has been started. Now we're going to go through that in fairly short order. And that same super personalized immersion is not there. And they want to get back to that. You know they're going to want to get back to it, because there's a lot of stuff that they still want to resolve. Well, okay. You want to come back to way of impeccability, and then we'll have more of this.
Mhm.
Or you know, one of the other programs.
Mhm. Yeah.
So you know, I am looking at this as definitely, and the end of module 2, it's very, very queuing there to say what you, it's a basically, this is like a lead into way of impeccability,
Yeah.
you know, which they're going to see too. They're going to know. We're going to make them acutely aware of the mourners. We already did in the first session. But then we're going to go just through this, be very tight. At the end of it, where was that mourners again now? Well, way of impeccability. They're going to come to that conclusion, not us, through the tasks and exercises at the end. So I'm leading people to doing this, and it's, you know, I'm very clear about it. I was like, man, you know, from my point of view, yes, this is valuable, but you really need to do way of impeccability. I'm sorry, this is no way around it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
This is a
subsection.
yeah, this is a piece of it. It's like the worry and anxiety one, that it's something that comes up a lot. Or
Exactly.
a lot of
Exactly.
connection to it, but
Exactly.
the big
Exactly. Yeah.
picture.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
the other one that's really huge that I want to do as soon as I get finished with anxiety and worry is the transition one.
yeah, transition.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is grief counseling, but I don't want to call it grief counseling. I want to call it transition something. And because it applies to relationships, it applies to losing a job, it applies to everything. And it's so simple and it's so effective. It is just even more tight, more focused than feeling and believing. Feeling believing just came up. Okay, it was pertinent and relevant, so I do it. You know,
Yeah.
otherwise I might
Like
never get to do it. So I'm glad.
managing life's major transitions.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, you know, it's a big, big, big deal. And this you can relate to. Anybody got a problem? Oh, okay. And there you go. But again, it's leading. You deal with that. They get addicted to the mourners because we connected always. There's more stuff gets connected. And then they say, you know, there's this awareness that you need to do the bigger picture. You need to pay attention. Impeccability. What are you talking about? Blah, blah. So they're just lead-ins. They're just lead-ins. That's it. The other thing is, you know, I'm hoping somebody like Cheryl. I know Diane doesn't have this. Both Cheryl and Chelsea, that of course they sign up for way of impeccability, but then they're doing it with you, and I just get the cut, you know, the on the reverse side. And this is where, you know, now this is where we started. Look, all this extra time you're spending, this is facilitated training, not just your own programs and your own stuff, but also the facilitated training. And then there's the payoff that starts to come from it. So that's why I was happy that, okay, you invited 3-4 people, or however many, I don't mind. It's because I'm hoping that, because with them, if that comes, then that works, so. Yeah. So again, like, okay, with Donna's person, I'll do that. And that's a new client for me too, but I'm happy if you do. Like, all of them, Chelsea, Diane. I don't know, Diane, obviously, she's got other stuff going. So next year, she said, right? Or is it this year that she's finishing her studies? When?
I think we asked her last.
Yeah, but that was last year when she spoke about her studies finishing next year. So I don't know if this is this year or next year. Anyway, don't matter. Either way, But, they all know each other around, and with Robin too, word starts getting out, and then people sign up, and, once you get that ball rolling, it starts to snowball. So,
yeah.
So that's for me in terms of where you are at. It's one option to do that, or the other option is, like I said, to look at doing this as a group thing in whatever way you want to do that. Doesn't matter. There are many ways to do a group thing. It doesn't have to be doing wave impeccability. That's a big, longer term commitment. It can be with much more simple things, much more focused. Hey, we get together and we just share, and it's a sharing group, but there's a power to it because we get to talk, we get to discuss, and like that group that Erica was in, and Sher and Christina and all those others, they were just, I'm trying to remember what they called it, but it was kind of like a support group where they were just sharing trauma stories. Very powerful, very addictive. Yeah, but I mean, what they call the Zooms. Yeah, it was called Inner Circle or Accountability Lab. But I mean, that was the name of the sort of forum. But I meant the Zoom sessions, what the logic of that was. Okay, we're going to get the Zoom session and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. They had a theme kind of every week, but essentially it was just sharing their problems. And it was very helpful to them. Everybody came very religiously, very diligent. Well, I'll ask Erica when we're on next about that.
But who was qualified on there to really be the moderator? Nobody.
None of them. I trained them to be facilitators. That's how come I was on there. It's very interesting. Very interesting.
Hey,
hello, Kay. Hello, Kay. Hello, Kay. So just to fit. Oh.
Good. Go ahead.
I don't think we heard you, Kay.
Oh, hi, Beena.
Hi.
Brilliant. Hello, Kay. I just want to finish the point with Sue here real quick.
Oh, sure.
They just came on, and the organizer, Miles, at the time, he just wasn't present, and I went to join those to support Miles because Miles had come through me doing the workshops like you did, so I just went to support him, and he wasn't there, so I just listened, and I was just absolutely just hearing. I tried to say the absolute minimum, but this was a train wreck looking to happen here. So, I just helped them say, okay, like Marvin, did you have some? Because I could see Marvin was looking to share something. And, Roberta Ann, who's a bit of a BMN, she's trying to take over and advice. And, so I just started. I did very little, very, very little. But, man, it changed the whole thing. It was amazing. So that's what made Erica connect. From that. So.
Gotcha. So you were the one really, and I mean, you're beyond qualified to do that. But the scary part is the groups like that where it's just
exactly,
and you're sharing
exactly.
Really growing. That's my concern. Yeah,
exactly. At that point, there was no growth. They were just sharing war stories. I'm talking about when Erica was on way in the Zooms. You remember way back when Joe was the shoulder, and they were all on, and they were just sharing trauma. I remember the first one I came on, they were literally showing their scars from abuse. People were lifting up the shirt and say, "Look, this is when I got slammed into the zinc and stuff like this." But it was riveting stuff, and it was an environment where people could share these horrible things and get them out. So it was very valuable to them. It's a support group logic. But yes, they got some relief, but they didn't get them that
Well-
further replacementness. It didn't grow from. No, not
I
much.
will say that, I was not a part of that, but I was, in on it because of Erica. And
Right.
she has talked about that a couple of times. And I was actually a little bit concerned when she was getting involved in that group. And she figured out pretty quickly that, it wasn't really that great. And she has said many times that when you came in and started, doing your thing, she said the difference between you and, what had been going on before was just like so almost shocking. And that's when she started, getting to know you better and, being interested in the program. But she said it was night and day when you
And
came.
the amazing thing is, I was making absolutely
Trying
every
not
effort,
to.
the minimum, because it's not my group.
Right.
I don't want to be taken over and poaching your clients. I was so hyper worried about that. It was really an issue for me. But man, you got to just say, okay, you next, please share. And we didn't hear from. I did so little, and yet it was incredible. Just that difference, amazing. Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I must see if I still have those recordings. I wonder. I'll look
Oh,
at.
that
I'll
was
see if I.
Jeez.
I may have deleted them because, well, it's
right.
it takes up space on my hard drive. I've got terabytes of videos by now, but I may have it. I'll look up for it. It's important. Yeah, it was very powerful how little we need to make a difference. Now,
Right.
it helped because they were able to share appropriately, and I still remember asking Erica to do a takeaway on notes on how to share rather than tell, and Erica made fantastic notes. I have that saved somewhere.
Right.
That one thing that I shared changed all the Zoom sessions.
Right.
Yeah, it changed the whole tenor of it.
Not telling.
Just that one thing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Well,
So,
I
yeah.
just remember her talking about that, and I was really glad that she went a different direction. Let's say. But,
Oh yeah. I mean, I just recognized Erica right off the bat.
and she
How
recognized
Miles
you too.
But this is what fascinated me and still fascinates me. How Miles was able to attract really nice people.
Right.
They were all wonderful people, one or two exceptions, but generally I would be happy to do way better with all of them. I did open it up for them to do.
Right. Right.
Amazing.
All righty. I'm gonna buzz
Wonderful
out.
stuff.
You can have your section.
All right. So just to recap real quick. So there's more on what we were talking, Sue.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying to open doors that there are different ways of doing this from that other angle that we spoke about. So just something to think about, definitely are. And I am looking at that longer term. Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Brilliant.
All right.
Yes.
All
See you
right.
guys.
All right,
Have a
Sue.
good
All right,
one.
Sue. Fantastic.
Okay.
Bye.